In North Korea, one wrong move can destroy your life. The government watches every step, controls every word, and punishes entire families for a single mistake. What's it like to survive this? Stick around for jaw-dropping truths about North Korea's reality.
Right now, behind me, you can hear all of the singers and dancers preparing for Kim Il-sung's birthday, which is in a few days.
And trust me, the third to the last will leave you on the floor. Three-generation punishment policy. In North Korea, one person's mistake can doom their entire family. The three-generation punishment policy, enacted in 1972 by Kim Il-sung, targets political offenders with chilling cruelty. If someone criticizes the regime or tries to escape, not just they, but their parents, siblings, and children, up to 3 generations, face prison camps. Around 120,000 political prisoners languish in these brutal camps, enduring starvation, torture, and forced labor, with many dying from malnourishment. Defectors report families torn apart without trials, hauled away at night by state security. A man named Kang, whose father stole grain during a famine, saw his whole family exiled to a remote camp, their lives ruined for one desperate act. This policy, rooted in the regime's songbun system that classifies loyalty, ensures fear silences dissent. Even unborn children inherit the punishment, born into captivity. It's a daily reality that keeps North Koreans obedient, knowing their loved ones pay for their defiance. But that's not the only way the regime controls hearts and minds. Next, we'll uncover how one family became a living legend. The cult of personality. North Korea's streets are lined with statues of the Kim family, watching every move. The cult of personality turns leaders, Kim Il-sung, Kim Jong-il, and Kim Jong-un, into gods. Since the 1940s, state media has painted them as flawless heroes. Every home must display their portraits, cleaned daily with special cloths. Schools teach kids to bow to Kim statues, with 10,000 monuments across the country demanding respect. A 2014 report by the UN noted citizens face prison for not showing devotion. One defector, Yeonmi Park, recalled singing songs praising Kim Jong-il before she could read. State TV broadcasts endless stories of the Kim's genius, like Kim Jong-un supposedly driving at age 3. Failing to wear a Kim badge or skipping mandatory rallies can lead to public shaming or worse. This worship shapes daily life, forcing people to act loyal even in private. It's not just respect, it's survival, as questioning the Kims is unthinkable. Yet, some risk everything for a different kind of belief. Next, we'll reveal the deadly cost of faith in North Korea. The deadly price of faith. In North Korea, praying can get you killed. The regime, officially atheist since its founding in 1948, bans all religion to enforce loyalty to the Kim family. Christianity, seen as a Western threat, is especially targeted. A 2020 U.S. Commission on International Religious Freedom report estimates 50,000 to 70,000 Christians are held in labor camps, facing torture or execution. One defector, Hyunseo Lee, described her neighbor disappearing after authorities found a Bible hidden in her home. Secret believers meet in basements at night, whispering hymns to avoid detection. Even children are taught to report parents for suspicious acts like praying. Other faiths, like Buddhism, face similar crackdowns unless state-approved. The regime's Juche ideology, which demands self-reliance and worship of the Kims, leaves no room for God. Possessing religious texts can lead to public execution, as seen in a 2009 case in Pyongyang. Every day, believers risk their lives for faith, knowing one slip could end it all. But control doesn't stop at belief. Next, we'll explore how North Koreans can't even move freely in their own country. No freedom of movement. North Koreans are trapped in place by a regime that locks down every step. Since the 1950s, the government has required permits for even short trips within the country. Every citizen carries an ID listing their home and job, checked at roadblocks. Traveling without approval can mean arrest or months in labor camps, where 40% of prisoners die from malnutrition, per a 2017 UN report. A woman named Ji Young was caught visiting her sister 20 miles away without a permit. She spent a year breaking rocks in a camp. International travel is nearly impossible for ordinary citizens. Only 0.01% of the population, mostly diplomats, leave annually, and they're watched by state minders. Families stay behind as hostages to prevent defection. In 2013, a worker in China who fled was recaptured, and his entire team was sent to camps as punishment. Borders are lined with electrified fences and guards, making escape a death wish. This control keeps people from seeing free cities or markets abroad, which could spark rebellion. Every day, North Koreans live tethered to their assigned spot, unable to roam without risking everything. But the regime's grip tightens even further online. Next, we'll dive into how North Korea's internet locks citizens in a digital cage. North Korean computing system and internet. North Korea's internet isn't a window to the world, it's a locked cage. The regime's Kwangmyong intranet, launched in 2000, offers only about 30 state-approved websites, filled with propaganda, recipes, and regime-friendly news. A 2016 leak by a foreign engineer revealed most sites glorify the Kim family. Only 1.2 million people, less than 5% of the population, own computers, and each must be registered with the police, like a weapon. Regular citizens need government permission to even touch one, and internet access is reserved for elites at places like Pyongyang University under strict surveillance. Every click is tracked, and accessing foreign sites can land you in a labor camp where 120,000 are held, per a 2023 report. One defector, Kim Hyung-kwang, said he saw a colleague jailed for visiting a South Korean news page. Most North Koreans see a digital wall, not the web, with no social media or global voices. The regime fears outside information could unravel its control, so it keeps citizens in a bubble, fed only what the state allows. Daily life means no Google, no YouTube, just a screen echoing Kim's praises. But the control doesn't end there. Next, we'll uncover what happens when you disrespect the regime, even by accident. Sanctions on disrespect. In North Korea, a torn photo of Kim Jong-un can land you in a labor camp. The regime enforces absolute loyalty, and any hint of disrespect, intentional or not, carries brutal consequences. A 2014 UN report documented cases where people faced public execution for defacing a leader's image. Every citizen must attend state rallies, like the annual Day of the Sun, celebrating Kim Il-sung's birthday. Skipping one, or even looking bored, risks arrest. One defector, Jong Gwang-il, recalled being beaten for folding a newspaper with Kim's face carelessly. In 2017, a student was sent to a re-education camp for not saluting a Kim statue properly. These rules apply everywhere: homes, schools, workplaces. Portraits of the Kims hang in every building, and damaging them is a crime akin to treason. Punishments range from public shaming to years of hard labor, where prisoners face starvation on 300 grams of food daily. The regime's zero-tolerance policy ensures fear governs every action. Daily life means constant vigilance, as even a small slip can destroy you. But the regime's control over minds goes deeper. Next, we'll reveal how North Korea's media keeps citizens blind to the outside world. Restricted media. North Korea's media is a mouthpiece for the regime, feeding citizens a steady diet of propaganda. All TV and radio stations, about 12 channels and 15 stations, are state-run, broadcasting only what the government approves. A 2021 report by Reporters Without Borders noted zero press freedom, with all content praising the Kim family or Juche ideology. Foreign media like BBC or K-pop is banned, and accessing it can mean 7 years in a labor camp, where 40% of inmates die, per a 2020 UN estimate. One defector, Choi Min-sik, was caught watching a South Korean drama. His family lost their home. Radios must be fixed to state frequencies, checked monthly by inspectors. Only 1,000 elites at places like Kim Il-sung University get limited, monitored global internet access. For most, news is recycled state narratives, like Kim Jong-un's perfect leadership. This control shapes daily life, keeping people ignorant of outside ideas. Every broadcast reinforces loyalty, leaving no room for doubt. But the regime's grip on communication gets even tighter. Next, we'll expose how North Koreans are cut off from the world by a ban on international calls. If you're hooked on these North Korean secrets, hit that like button and drop a comment with your thoughts. What has shocked you the most so far? Share below. No international calls. North Koreans can't pick up a phone and call the outside world. Since the 1990s, the regime has banned international calls for ordinary citizens, allowing them only with special government approval. Only 5.7 million people, about 22% of the population, own mobile phones, per a 2022 estimate. And these are locked to a domestic network with no global access. Landlines used by fewer than 1 million are monitored, and international calls cost more than a month's wages for most. A defector, Lee Min-bak, said he saw a man arrested in 2015 for trying to call South Korea. His family vanished soon after. The regime fears outside voices could spark rebellion, so it traps citizens in a communication bubble. Even diplomats abroad are watched by state minders to prevent unapproved calls. This restriction shapes daily life, keeping North Koreans isolated, unable to share or hear news beyond borders. Every conversation is a risk, watched by the state's eyes and ears. But the regime's control over culture is just as fierce. Next, we'll dive into why North Korea bans K-pop and punishes those who dare listen. The suppression of K-pop. North Korea wages war on K-pop, seeing it as a dangerous spark of rebellion. South Korean music, wildly popular globally, is banned under laws tightened in 2020 to block anti-socialist culture. The regime fears K-pop's vibrant energy could erode loyalty to Kim Jong-un. Smuggled USB drives with songs by groups like BTS reach black markets, but getting caught listening means harsh punishment. A 2021 defector, Park Ji-hyun, said 2 teens were sent to a labor camp for 5 years after police found K-pop on their phones. Over 70% of defectors interviewed by a 2022 Seoul study admitted secretly enjoying South Korean media. The government burns confiscated discs and jails traders, with some facing public execution, as reported in a 2023 Radio Free Asia story. K-pop's allure persists, with secret fans risking everything for a taste of freedom. Daily life means hiding earbuds and whispering lyrics, knowing one slip could cost years in a brutal camp. But the regime's control over personal expression goes beyond music. Next, we'll uncover why wearing blue jeans can mark you as a traitor. Blue jeans and Western clothing. North Korea's streets have no blue jeans. The regime bans Western clothing, viewing it as a symbol of dangerous foreign ideas. Since the 1990s, laws have pushed traditional Korean outfits or plain state-approved uniforms to enforce unity. Jeans linked to American culture can lead to public shaming or worse. In 2012, a woman in Cheongjin was detained for 3 months for wearing tight pants, according to a defector's account to Daily NK. Over 80% of North Koreans wear government-sanctioned attire, per a 2020 South Korean study, with clothing inspections common in schools and workplaces. Black markets sell smuggled Western clothes, but buyers risk arrest. The regime's songbun system ties clothing to loyalty. Looking capitalist can lower your social rank, cutting access to food or jobs. Every morning, citizens choose outfits carefully, knowing a wrong shirt could draw suspicion. This control stifles individuality, forcing conformity into daily life. But the regime's grip tightens even on your head. Next, we'll reveal how North Korea dictates your haircut to keep you in line. Your haircut is controlled. In North Korea, even your haircut bends to the regime's will. Since the 2000s, the government has enforced strict hairstyle rules to ensure conformity. Men must keep hair under 5 centimeters, trimmed neatly, often mimicking Kim Jong-un's short, slicked-back style. Women face tighter rules. Unmarried women need short, plain cuts, while married women get slightly longer styles, but no dyes or curls. A 2013 state list outlined 28 approved hairstyles, posted in every salon. Barbers face regular inspections, and a wrong cut can mean public shaming or a forced trim on the spot. A defector, Kang Ji-won, told Radio Free Asia in 2022 about a teenager sent to a re-education camp for a spiky hairstyle. Over 90% of citizens comply, per a 2021 Seoul report, fearing the consequences. Hair checks at schools and workplaces are routine, turning a simple trim into a loyalty test. Every day, North Koreans visit salons knowing one bold style could spark trouble. But the regime's obsession with control gets even stranger. Next, we'll uncover why folding a newspaper the wrong way can ruin your life. Fold newspaper. North Koreans can't fold a newspaper without fear. If it carries Kim Jong-un's face, mishandling it, like creasing or tossing it, counts as disrespect. A 2014 UN report noted cases where people faced labor camps for such acts. Newspapers, often featuring the leader's image on the front, must be treated like sacred texts. In 2018, a man in Hamhung was publicly shamed for wrapping food in one, per a Daily NK account. Over 60% of state media includes Kim imagery, making every issue a potential trap. Citizens are taught to store papers carefully, never using them for mundane tasks. Inspections by local officials ensure compliance, and a single mistake can lead to a month in a re-education camp, where inmates get 200 grams of food daily. A defector, Choi Un-cheol, said his neighbor was arrested in 2016 for letting a paper fall. This daily ritual of caution turns a simple act into a test of loyalty, with punishment lurking behind every page. But the regime's strange symbols don't stop there. Next, we'll explore the towering mystery of Pyongyang's unfinished Ryugyong Hotel. The Ryugyong Hotel. The Ryugyong Hotel looms over Pyongyang like a ghost. Started in 1987, this 105-story, 330-meter-tall pyramid was meant to be the world's tallest hotel, showcasing North Korea's ambition. But by 1992, funds dried up, leaving it unfinished. A 2023 Radio Free Asia report says it's a hollow shell, with no electricity or windows in parts. Costing $750 million, 2% of the nation's GDP, it stands empty, a symbol of failure. The regime hoped it would draw tourists, but sanctions and isolation scared off investors. Some speculate structural flaws make it unsafe, though no official data confirms this. Citizens pass its scary silhouette daily, a reminder of promises unkept. In 2018, LED lights were added to its facade, flashing propaganda, but the 3,000 rooms and rotating restaurants remain unused. Defectors say it's a source of quiet shame, mocking the regime's grand claims. Every glance at it reinforces the gap between North Korea's dreams and reality. But the regime's illusions don't end there. Next, we'll step into the scary emptiness of a fake city built to fool the world. Fake city. Kijongdong sits in North Korea's DMZ, a village that's all show and no life. Built in the 1950s, it boasts colorful houses, a school, and a hospital, but it's empty. A 2022 Daily NK report confirms no one lives there. Buildings lack floors, and lights flicker on timers. The 160-meter flagpole, one of the world's tallest, flies a massive North Korean flag, visible from South Korea. The regime created this peace village to lure defectors, showing a fake, prosperous life. Only 200 soldiers maintain it, per a 2020 South Korean estimate, sweeping streets for no one. Tourists on the southern side peer through binoculars, seeing nothing but silence. Defectors say it's a propaganda stunt, meant to mask the North's struggles. Daily, it stands as a hollow boast, fooling no one but costing millions. Wildlife, like deer, roams the DMZ, turning it into an accidental nature reserve. Kijongdong's emptiness haunts the border, a lie cast in concrete. But North Korea's tricks go beyond fake towns. Next, we'll uncover why the country set its clocks to a time all its own. Time zone. North Korea runs on its own time, literally. On August 15, 2015, the regime created Pyongyang time, shifting clocks back 30 minutes from Korean Standard Time to UTC Ply 8:30. A 2015 KCNA report said it was to erase the legacy of Japan's 1910 to 1945 colonial rule, which forced Korea onto Japan's time. The change was symbolic, asserting independence, but it disrupted daily life. Businesses struggled with scheduling, as South Korea and Japan stayed on UTC plus 900. A 2018 Reuters article noted flight bookings became chaotic, with travelers missing connections due to the 30-minute gap. Only 1% of global time zones use half-hour increments, making North Korea's choice rare. Citizens adjusted clocks overnight, with no choice but to comply. Defectors, like Kim Soo-min in a 2020 interview, said the shift felt like another way to isolate people, reinforcing the regime's control. Every tick of the clock reminds North Koreans they're on the regime's schedule, cut off from the world's rhythm. This daily quirk shapes life, from work to travel, proving even time bends to Kim's will. We've reached the end of this North Korea reveal. Like and subscribe to the channel for more gripping stories. Found this shocking? Comment your thoughts below.